Hey guys, here we are going into round 3. So far we've seen Kell Brook usually only exhibits his control over his opponent for defensive reasons. Although when he gets his opponent, like in the last round, well, actually, let's just take a look at this. This is really some pretty impressive stuff. Not like the punches that he's landing, right? That's not the part that's impressive. We're talking about the skills he uses to land them, right? So he gets him on the ropes, controls him, looks for the opening, catches him with a shot, controls him again, looks for a shot, doesn't see it, touches him again, makes sure he's still there, lands 2 shots, lands another one, touches him, but just really good control over his opponent, so he's not wasting shots. You know, he's not really open for counters as well, because his opponent doesn't know when punches are coming, although he looks pretty open right there if his opponent was countering. But he's probing and he's looking for the offense, and he does a really good job. You know, Errol Spence has a lot of similar tactics, obviously, but I think Errol Spence wastes a few more punches, and that might be because of Chris Algieri is a slippery guy. You know, he's very defensive when he fights, and he's got pretty decent movement. You know, he sees punches coming well, that's for sure. So maybe that's a product of him getting a little anxious because of Chris Algieri. But anyway, we're not going to talk about those kinds of intangibles. They're not boxing skills or whatever. But aside from those moments, Kell Brook doesn't spend a lot of time setting his shots up. He hides them a little bit with like little tiny head movements and guard changes. And when he slips to one side, he'll throw a shot off of that. Or when they're doing hand touching, you know, vying for lead hand dominance, he'll touch gloves and throw a shot. But it's only a shot, right? He doesn't do a lot of feinting or probing to make you kind of think about what he's going to do or make you react to what he's doing and then throw shots. He, so far, has just been trying to utilize his speed to land shots. So let's go ahead and get into the third round. Ooh. And he comes out blazing, pulls back, misses that shot. Kell Brook does something really smart. And this is what I like, right? This is good high-level control right here. Misses his shot, wraps his arm around him like that, and then pushes off, you know? He doesn't hold him and punch him in the head. He doesn't even necessarily set up offense off of it, even though, like, you know, technically, like, that's fine. You know, Errol Spence does that at the end of the Chris Algieri fight. And lands a big shot. It's really important that he knows that's there, but I like that it's more clean in this aspect, and there's less ambiguity about what's in the rules and what's not. But interesting. He's got like Kell Brook's got this guard right here, moving his hands a little bit, ducks down, and then kind of just goes in for a shot. But if you pay attention to Frankie Gavin, look at his head movement, right? Boom, ducking down, ducking to his right, ducking to his left, dipping a lot. And Kell Brook really doesn't know where his head's going to be, right? And that shot doesn't really land on Frankie Gavin. I guess Kell kind of thought his head was going to be in one place and it wasn't. But even a quick athlete like Kell Brook, right? And he's not the fastest, right? But he's not slow. Even a great athlete like him isn't able to find his head just because of some simple head movement. Again, Kell Brook puts his foot on the inside to land the jab, or to try to. And then Frankie Gavin, again, realizing, I'm sorry about clearing my throat so much, been a little under the weather. But does something really good, catches him with the body shot. That's something that's going to be really effective. And then Kell Brook landing the straight left, or the straight right, rather. Kind of stalking him a little bit. Bam. Look at that. Not a lot of defense when he throws, right? Steps to the inside again, which puts his opponent into range for the hook that he lands right here, or the cross kind of jab. That one looks more like a hook at the moment. But in the way also of his power shots, like that body shot that he landed earlier. Even though he's not really committing to landing a lot of offense, after that it looks like he's kind of just I don't want to say trying to survive, you know, but it doesn't look like he's trying to win either, right? Because countering your opponent with a big shot like that, I mean, well, a good shot, that's exactly what you want to do, and then set up your other offense while your opponent's thinking about that shot, right? But some decent hand movement right there from Kell, right? Hand, and then as soon as he gets Frankie Gavin to stick his hand out and try to touch gloves with them, sneaks a straight right in there. I really like that, actually. I haven't seen a lot of fighters do that. Usually they stick with their jab. And then he crosses in, and that's really interesting. So he lands it, boom. I mean, I don't know. I didn't pay attention whether he lands it. It's not important to me. Maybe he did. I'm not going to rewind it for that again. But look at how well he covers up the body shot this time. You know, I'm not sure that Frankie Gavin lands it there. You know, it might be grazing on the inside. But Kell Brook making an adjustment to take that like kidney shot away from Frankie Gavin. And then did he sneak in a left hand there too? Let's take a look at that. All right. Okay, so he does land it. Sneak in a body shot, but I don't think it lands that clearly. But it's really good that he's looking for those shots off of those punches. Again, catch him with a straight. Controls him when he shifts as Frankie moves out of range. Really sneaky stuff from Kell. And dude, I just want to point this out. Like, look at that guy in the ring with him. Like, he is so freaking tiny. Like, Kell Brook is just so big. I never realized that, how much bigger he was than the other 140 pounders. Some decent head movement. That's really good right there. Hooks, and then controls his head. When he misses, moves off to the side. Doesn't keep following him. Ooh. Shoots the jab. Kind of rocks back. Kind of takes it, but catches him with his own punch. And this one kind of lands on the back of the head, the second hook, you know. And that's not really Kell Brook's fault. I mean, it is actually. It's nobody else's fault. But he's punching when he can't see because he just got clipped. But I like that after that he gets his forearm on him like this, and stops him from being able to utilize the lead foot dominance that he gives away when he jabs. Really smart. I wonder how Errol Spence is going to react to that. Kell Brook from the southpaw right there. Touching gloves. Waits for the counter and misses it. I thought he was going to shoot a straight right. Misses the jab. Kell Brook is really good at measuring that jab and getting just out of reach of it. He's not perfected his counter right now. Let's see. So Frankie Gavin, really smart right there. And this is something that Errol Spence is going to have to do too. But Errol Spence doesn't like to throw, you know, one punch at a time. You know, he throws a lot more combination, and he doesn't move his head as much. You know, but Frankie Gavin right here shoots the jab, knows the counter's coming, and rolls under it. Really smart. Gets him with a jab, and then completely open for the body shot, and Kell doesn't even react to it. You know, I guess he tries to get his glove in the way of it, but a little too slow right there. Man, Kell, you're getting hit with some shots. Lands a counter right hand after eating that jab. Controls his head. Again, catches him with another shot. Boom. Shifts forward. Controls him with this forearm a little bit. Lands a shot on the inside. Oh, see that? He's never going to get away with that. And right there, I don't like that at all, actually. This right here, with his elbow in his neck right there. Or his forearm in his neck. Yeah, I don't like that. And these clean breaks right here, that's not going to happen against Errol Spence. Not at all. Some decent head movement right there from Kell. And this is exactly why Kell shifts right here. So when they kind of get tied up right here, Frankie Gavin's able to land that shot. You know, it looks like it grazes him, right? But, you you know, obviously a better fighter might be able to make that punch actually land. And that's why Kell Brook shifts after he throws his right hand, is to actually be bodied up with his opponent when they get really close so that those shots aren't there. Interestingly enough, Kell Brook decides to do that rather than take the same shot for himself. And I don't know if that's indicative of the fact that he gives away lead foot dominance, and that's usually when he lands in that spot. Which is not even necessarily true, because sometimes he winds up in that spot by throwing the right hand, right? I don't think he gives up lead foot dominance when he throws the right hand. But yeah, it's interesting that he doesn't go for the body shot himself. Kind of gets a piece of that. It kind of gets him. He's going to have to work on his defense for sure. His more static guard, you know. But the reason that Frankie Gavin's able to land these shots, again, even though Kell Brook is a superior athlete, Kell Brook's not really... Where the hell did that punch go? Kell Brook's not really moving his head a lot. You know, I know he has head movement. He's shown it in this fight. Whether it's just he's getting complacent, he's not going to be able to do that against Errol Spence. That's a mistake that he's not going to be able to make, no matter what. Even if he thinks that he has Errol Spence hurt, because Errol Spence hits really hard. Again, the shift, pins his arms that time, pulls his own arm, controls his head. Really smart inside game right there. Lands a shot. Ooh, and then throws a body shot. He knows that Frankie Gavin's trying to make him miss the headshots. To pull him back, so he throws a body shot. Tries to control him when they come up, but they kind of tie up a little bit. And look at this. What is this? Real quick, that tap on the body right there. What is that from Kell Brook? Usually fighters, when they do stuff like that, they're signaling a break. And then when they do break, Kell Brook punches them in the head. I don't really like that. Sneaky, but I don't like it. Again, comes in the 1, the 2, it misses, and then he gets his forearm on his neck so he can't get, oh, he actually puts it all the way over, and then he rotates it back, but I think he does take that body shot. But at least he knows that he needs to control his opponent's head, especially being the fact that they're southpaws and such. It's a little bit more active of a round. Again, good straight right, boom. Shifts and shoots the control right hand. Eats the uppercut inside right here. Boom. He's going to need to watch that for sure. He needs to go back to the controlling his opponent's left hand. Like right now, he needs to get his right hand on top of Frankie Gavin's arm. Especially if he's not going to be punching. So he doesn't take shots like that. After the uppercut, there's some good head movement right there. Right there, that was interesting. Slips the jab, catches him with a body shot. I wonder, you know, I haven't ever seen Frankie Gavin fight aside from this. Someone said that he was a world amateur champion, but I wonder if he counterpunches in most of his fights, because he is doing a pretty decent job counterpunching Kell Brook. And Kell Brook is fast, you know. I mean, he's not slow. He's not like super fast, but he's pretty quick. He's really sharp. He doesn't telegraph his punches with any body movement. They just leave his body as a punch, you know. And not a lot of fighters are able to generate power or speed, and without telegraphing their punches as well as Kell Brook. Man, gets him on the ropes again. A little controlling his head right here. Jab, pulls his gloves down. Barely misses the uppercut. Jab again. Throws the right hand. Gives him a little shift again. Looks for the body shot. And now a page right out of Errol Spence's book right here. Boom. Holding him right there. Shouldn't be doing that. Definitely should not be doing that. Oh, that was kind of sneaky. Feints him. And then throws the right. Kind of like a straight right, but coming from this weird little angle. I don't know what the hell that is. Boom, boom, And I think I can't. Oh yeah, Frankie Gavin catches him too. But what a weird punch. And look how interesting that is, right? Especially when your opponent's trying to counterpunch you. Look how effective one little feint is, right? Even though he puts himself kind of out of position, he feinted maybe a little too deep. But look at the position that Frankie Gavin's put himself into. He can't really move out of the way of another shot, so he kind of just eats that one. And I am inclined to say his shot, maybe he didn't even land one too. Maybe Frankie Gavin didn't even land his shot. Kind of looks like it might touch his chin. No, wait. Man, I got to look at it again. Make sure that I'm not seeing. No, I don't think so. It might have been a body shot. I don't know. I can't really tell. But that's how effective just one little feint can be, And that's the difference between like a C-class fighter, right? Someone who looks for openings with their punches. They commit to their punches and look for openings at the same time, right? Because you're going to see them, right? You always have to have good eyes if you're going to be even a C-level fighter. And a B-level fighter who sets their punches up, right? And Kell Brook hasn't shown that he sets his punches up super well this fight. He's been very aggressive. He's landed a lot of right hands, a decent amount, like I'll say a little bit below average amount of counter jabs and counter hooks, mostly landing with the right hand, but not really setting any of those punches up. Using his athleticism to land those shots. And while you get credit for them, you get credit for scoring the blow. You don't get credit in the skills department for using that as your technique. Oh, what's your skill? Oh, I'm just naturally really fast, or I've trained my whole life to be really fast. Like, it just doesn't cut it. But instances like that where you feint your opponent, you make them, and like, look at how clean of a shot this is. It's not even a big punch, right? But just boom, right on the chin. No one can contest that. There's no one in the arena that didn't see that punch, right? Except for Frankie Gavin. But that's why it's so important to use feints and to use those kinds of control techniques to set your punches up. Not just because they're the easiest to score, but they're also the cleanest and most effective shots. But anyway, moving on. Again, not a lot of head movement from Kell right now. His guard is getting a little stale. I think his head movement was a little better in the Triple G fight. Oh man, catching him again. Some pretty good stuff here. Lands the straight right, and look at his defense. Right, he knows that he needs to be defensive when he throws a straight right and keep his glove to his ear, or to his chin, so he doesn't get countered with the hook. Controls his head a little bit right there before he lets off another shot. And he's really starting to get to this guy now. I didn't pause the video right there. It's just my video quality is really poor. Feints. So this is interesting, right? Not a real jab, right? But he uses it to close the distance, then feints a jab a little bit, and then throws a hook. But probing right there. We'll watch it in real time. And then catches him as he spins out with the right uppercut. Boom, and a right hand. And then after, gets in front of him, controls his head. Real Errol Spence like right there, holding his head, hitting him. Then controls his head right there so that he can't move away from him. He knows how to land these punches, but I don't necessarily agree with this. Actually, I disagree with it a lot. He shouldn't be doing that. Did he land that? Yeah, no, he lands another right hand again. Kell Brook showing he's not using a lot of head movement. And again, it's not a question of, he's just not respecting Frankie Gavin and he doesn't care if he punches him in the face or not. We have to look at that and be like, hey, this is a skill, right? And he's not using that skill. We don't get to usually say why when we're doing a film study. We just have to go with what we see, not with what we think. Oh, he could be doing this, he could be doing that, you know, because, you know, maybe he's not doing it because he's thinking about, he's so focused on landing his right hand because he knows he's landing it, or because he's preoccupied with something else that his opponent was doing and he's not thinking about that counter or this, or he's thinking about, you know, there could be a million things. But you got to remember that while he's thinking all of those things, that stops him from thinking about using his head movement, right? Whereas, like, if it was more inherent, if it was more natural to him, it was more of an actual skill that he always uses rather than one he has to focus on, he'd always be doing it. So let's get back to it. Again, a little more of the same. Oh, was that the round? That was the round, okay. Look at that little look on his face right there, that guy, Frankie Gavin. Was that a low blow or something? Maybe he's just mad that he's getting painted right there. Oh, he landed a good body shot. Again, Kell Brook showing that over and over again, he's open for that body shot. So, back to how this round kind of pertains to the Errol Spence film study and like comparing them as opponents. To be honest, this round looked exactly like the first three. It makes me wonder if I should even do the other 2 rounds, because it's, you know, I'm kind of just repeating myself at this point. Kell Brook is open for the body shot. He does a good job of controlling Frankie Gavin when he gets lead foot dominance, and that is Kell Brook's main way to set up his offense. But he's open for the body shot not only when Frankie Gavin is leading, but even when Kell Brook is leading, which means that's going to be Errol Spence is probably his biggest money punch in the fight. One interesting thing, though, you know, Kell Brook's defense seems a little stale, right? But Frankie Gavin hides a lot of his punches with good head movement. You're not always able to time him, and those subtle head movements, or those dips and the, you know, putting his weight, like level changes and all that stuff, they really disguise his offense, and it makes it really difficult for Kell Brook to fight on his rhythm, right? Because, oh, this is the first time he may have ever fought this guy. He's never trained or sparred with them. He doesn't know his rhythm. He doesn't know, like, how to match his rhythm so that he can set up a good defense. That's not going to be a problem that he has with Errol Spence, because Errol Spence doesn't have a rhythm. You know, Errol Spence kind of walks forward or shuffles forward from his hips, and then he just explodes into jabs and 1-2s. He doesn't really disguise them or like have a clever rhythm or pattern. So even though Kell Brook looks like he's getting hit by these punches, it might be much easier for him to counter Errol Spence than it is to counter this guy, because Errol Spence doesn't have nearly as much not only static head movement, but head movement when he punches or after his punches. Even though after Errol Spence's combinations, he does circle off really well, because Kell Brook's going to be punching in between those, he may be able to catch Errol Spence a few more times. And we also saw that when he's caught in between his offense, he shuts his own offense down to make sure he doesn't get countered more, which is something that happened quite frequently against Chris Algieri. But anyway, I hope this round, I got some complaints about the last round that I did being really difficult to decipher about what was going on because of all the name switches and stuff. I got like a weird memory thing, and I don't know, it was really easy for me to talk about, but I guess it didn't translate very well. So I hope this video was a little more clear, a little more concise, and that you guys enjoyed it. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.